There's a cathartic moment when someone is accepted into the community and when they are not. In this moment, the direction of their lives will take shape. As a child, you look at a photo seeking some kind of recognition. Who's in the picture? Is it your family? Is it your friends? Does it make you happy, sad? The impact that image can have on your life can never really be predicted. That's my mom. When we came to Toronto, it was like starting all over again. What I remember the most is that my mother never got mad. I remember my mom meeting Jehovah's Witnesses one day and being really excited to find people that wanted to talk to her. We moved into a working class neighborhood of immigrants just like us. We were the only people of color. I never heard people say bad things about us, but I know my mom did. She used to say, when people come over and say something to me like, don't your kids look just like you? She'd look them right in the eye and she'd say, why? Yes, they do. And then she'd come over to us and say, giggle, because we didn't look at all like her. In the hood of mixed families, we were the renters. We were the mixed race kids. We were none the wiser at the time. My mom did a good job at protecting us. That's what parents do. What I knew was I was a kid like all the other kids on the street. I know my mom got the looks from the ladies and the whispers behind her back. And my dad, I know he got the packy word, if not to his face, after he'd already passed. Back then, color was a real thing. I don't know if it still is today. This is how I saw my mother, but it's not how the neighbors did. People used to comment on how good-looking my dad was. I often wonder if that didn't get him a little bit further in life. And maybe us as well. When we moved into the hood, we were just like all the other kids on the street running around having some fun. But I'm really not sure if we were accepted. It's hard to tell when you're a kid. My dad was Indian. My mom was British. We were a combination of the two. It was the 60s. We had Woodstock, we had the Beatles, we had A Man on the Moon, we had Desi and Lucy. They didn't even sleep in the same bed. And there in Toronto's West End, you had us. Times were changing for everyone. And in Toronto's West End, in the heart of the factories and the hockey heroes, we moved in. I remember the day he came home and said he was changing his name to an anglicized name. Did we want to do it too? We all declined. I think because we had more time to digest who we were now that we were living in Canada. For him, the English name seen on paper was something that perhaps paved the route less complicated, and it initially allowed him access to a world that his skin color separated him from. It wasn't a marriage made on TV. For him, sometimes it was just about getting in the door. Constant struggles faced him in his journey through life here. Many things we heard about, but many things just remained silent. Silence was a sign of the times, but they were changing. He was always looking for something. He moved from religion to religion and job to job. I remember when he came home one day with this big gold Buddha. What's that? Strangest thing I'd ever seen. It certainly didn't fit with our picture-perfect mid-century furniture and olive carpets my mom built our home around. It was like we were caught between two worlds. We tried to do the corner church thing. It seemed to be the right thing to do, to be part of a community. But it didn't really work. I'm not sure why. It lasted about as long as the Go-Go Boots did. Playing the role of the happy Canadian family didn't always work. Let me introduce you to my dad. From suits in Hollywood to socks and sandals. From India and England to Toronto's West End. Were they picture perfect? In our lives, there was always a mix of smiles and tensions, wonders and uncertainties. One day good and one day not. It was a complicated time for interracial marriages. My mom hid a lot behind her British smile and her calm ways. My father was all about appearing to be the perfect Canadian family.
Help TVO create a better world through the power of learning. Visit TVO.org and make a tax-deductible donation today.